And good morning. So, first off, this is the wrong coloration for the Sky Dancer. This is the correct one. The glitch has now turned into just displaying them with an earlier version of their colors for some reason. Who knows? But yeah, so got a request to see all of the starters versus Blue Magnolia. Basically, if you saw the gauntlet from the other day, for whatever reason, she seemed to have a bunch of trouble with a couple of the random starters that showed up. So, we're gonna have the early 3rd gen. I believe the late 3rd gen is still around too. Basically, a couple of the other starters, including the 4th gen one. And I figure leading it all off, we'll have Sky Dancer. Because you know what? He's basically a starter. Oh man, I should do Sky Dancer versus Wildcat. It's basically the same idea. They're basically a starter. Oh, Sky Dancer versus 8-Ball. That'd be an interesting one. So I have a feeling Sky Dancer is not gonna make it, but well, crap. Never mind. He's holding it together pretty well here, actually. And then some work with that blade there. Realistically, I don't think he would have been able to afford optional parts, but whatever, I give him a full compliment just for the hell of it. Since he's not technically a starter, he's not limited to that same rule about not putting any optionals on there. Yeah, he's holding his own pretty well. Not looking too bad. Come on, Sky Dancer, you can do it. I don't know why. I always liked the view. It's like I always liked the underdog, and he's like the epitome of underdogness. Dude's broke as hell. All right. That didn't go so hot for him, but he got close. You know, he got within 1,000. Doesn't even have any misses, so it's something. All right, next step. What was it? I want to say it was Storms that had, no. One of these definitely had the late 3rd gen one. 7? Not 7. I'm fairly certain I didn't overwrite it. But if I did, I did. Yeah, here we go. The Taurus Nexus Edition. By the way, if you're wondering on the music, I don't believe I've used this one before, but this is an OC remix of Flying Fortress from Sonic & Knuckles, called, what's it here? Electromotive Skyforce. There we go. Man, friggin' love OC remix. There's so much cool stuff on there. Like, especially the Sonic remixes are just so friggin' good. Unreal. It's kind of funny because I got like a classical music background. Actually, used to be an all-state violinist at one point, but most of that classical training and everything else just kind of made me appreciate music from games and all that more than anything. It's a weird transition, but who knows? It's just every time that I end up listening to one of these things, like, oh man, where are all the all the different sections coming together? Where are all the harmonies? Where's all this cool stuff coming together? And yeah. Alright, well, it does not look like the Nexus Edition can hold together terribly well. Let's go ahead and give the 2038 Taurus another go. That's the wrong name. 3089. There we go. I remembered the friggin' joke I made up. Alright, moving on. Yeah, I haven't quite had my coffee yet. Have my coffee later, dang it. For now we gotta have robots. So it's been pretty cool. Voctor's been doing a similar format lately, and his run's a lot better. So it's been really nice to watch there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's running it on an actual computer. This thing is like a 2-year-old laptop. Which I was meaning to upgrade this year, but then, like, you know, finances happened. I don't know, maybe down the line. Actually, my friend goes by Leos. He was actually doing a few videos of this as well a while ago. And yeah, that was like, he has a friggin' supercomputer that could probably just like run in the entirety of NASA or whatever, but when he tried running this, it was ridiculously good looking. I mean, you have to consider, we're basically running it at 3 times resolution with frame skip. I mean, it looks slightly better than, you know, like 2 times without. Just because of the frame skip, we get the occasional, like, shadow stutter and all that. But yeah. Now this is by no means, like, oh my god, somebody copying the format kind of crap. Like, if you have a computer that can run this, if you get ideas for verses and stuff, seriously, I was actually putting together, he suggested a really cool idea that was actually to put together kind of like a Dropbox of, like, all kinds of different team saves and whatever, and everyone could, like, dump their stuff in there. I probably would go and, you know, like, probably make it so nobody could take stuff off of there, but everybody could put stuff on, just, you know, to kind of prevent the seemingly inevitable thing where some a-hole comes along, changes the password, and then says, hey, you know, I totally made all of these myself, all these other guys are a-holes, and they stole my stuff, kind of thing, so I hate it when people do that, but, I seen it happen way too many times. But, point being, was, you know, it was an idea to, basically just make a Dropbox where everybody could go and, put their teams in. If needed, I can sort of, like, watch over that sort of thing. Where's my tomato team? Like, if, like he was suggesting, if, stuff gets submitted, and then, you know, I'll build them and put them up there, and then they, you know, I'll probably put together a separate video explaining how to use that, and how to, you know, convert team saves to regular saves and all that, just so it's in one place. And then that way, if a few people want to go and start doing this, and, you know, make it more of a thing, maybe kind of low-key revive that whole competitive scene, minus the actual competition, because the meta builds are very meta. But yeah, no, you know, if just people want to do more cool stuff with this kind of format, hopefully somebody that, you know, I'm sure there's people out there that can definitely comment a hell of a lot better than I can. There's definitely people that can run this thing a lot better than I can, so if we can get something set up there, that'd be pretty cool. Make it a whole thing, maybe make a little community out of it, who knows. Yeah. So, community pool of builds is coming up. Also, this music's kind of loud, I apologize. So as soon as they find a way, I'll make a little announcement thing, and we'll go from there. So, there's that. And yeah, it will basically need to come with a video, because pretty much the way that it saves, it has 18 slots, it has 8 regular saves and 38 team saves, and pretty much you have to slot out the internal components of that in order to basically have it function in your PSP or emulator. And it's funny because you can actually transfer that back and forth without any real issues. As far as testing goes, it's unclear where the visual glitch is coming from at this point. I was gonna test it on a PSP later to see if it carries over to that. So, you know, info still pending on that one. I really wish that Sony would stop patching out the friggin' exploits on the Vita, because I mean, the thing's been long dead for a while now, and honestly, people just want to get onto modding that thing. But yeah, it's like it's kind of funny because it's pointless. I mean, if somebody, like in my case, right, I have a mod that I want to put on there. It's like a simple hex editor type situation, where it's essentially a mod for a game that I legitimately own, and I can't put it on there. Same thing with Formula Front. Have it, can't put it on there. Same thing with Worms Open Warfare 2. Love that game. Friggin' one of the best Worms games ever, in my opinion. Doesn't matter, can't put it on there. And it's stupid because they keep patching out methods in which you can do that. Like if you have a backup of your game or whatever, you put an ISO on there. Like I just want to be able to play the thing I have. Why are you guys putting extra effort into blocking this thing? I mean, at this point, nobody's really going and really doing extra stuff when it comes to the Vita. Like the actual Vita stuff that they're selling, all of those, nobody's making PSP games anymore that's actually making money off it. So, like on the actual Vita side of things, as I understand it, that actually has not been hacked. So they're not really gaining anything from blocking it. They're just going and releasing updates for a dead console because, you know, I guess they don't want PSP games on there. Because honestly, that's why I got that thing in the first place. Like, I figured, okay, there'll be, you know, at least some low-key hacks at some point. You know, I can put my my PSP stuff on there, have it display on a nicer screen. And I mean, it's a much nicer screen. It displays better, it runs better. Interestingly, except for Armored Core. Because apparently Armored Core is the weird pariah of just friggin' everything. For some reason, especially ACLR has a bunch of bizarre glitches that happen on the Vita. I have no idea why you can't emulate it properly. Yeah, so I mean, the thing has a PSP emulator running on there, and you can't really access it without hacks. So unless you're on certain firmwares, it's just not going to happen. Which sucks, because there's also no way to downgrade it without going and slapping a new motherboard in there, which is just disgusting. You know, or just selling the thing and going and getting an older firmware version. It sucks. It's such a potentially amazing multimedia thing, because you can, when you finally get your double joysticks and everything, you can reconfigure everything on there. You don't have to worry about fiddliness of touchscreens or whatever, even though it has it, and you can assign the touchscreen to do stuff if you want. It's a shame. It's a real friggin' shame. Like, I have a tablet. Oh, there we go. There we go. Nice. Okay, so the AC1 starter finally did in Maggie. So that'll be that. Alright, I'll save the Vita rant for another time, but, there we go. That's what we were waiting for. So have a good one. I have a few other requests coming, and then I'm probably going to take a short break so I can figure out the save situation, and I will see you then.